where we're standing now exactly, one of the terrorists landed in October 7th. They had those motorized paragliders, which you can see as a recreational thing. You can put it in your bag like a backpack almost, and you don't need a cliff. You just run and you take off. So two of them were like that, and one of them was a homemade version of that, and they built a landing gear for it. So they got two wheels in the back and like a little buggy with a big wheel in the front, and they build a bench, connect the paraglider to the frame of it, which allows the terrorist who flew it to have free hands. He also had an option to use a bigger canopy and carry bigger weight, and that was supposed to be a parachute that was able to carry two terrorists. And the drill, and how do we know? Because we saw them training for so long beforehand, that it carried two terrorists. One of them can actually sit with his legs hanging down and shoot at the same time. The other one's flying, because when you fly that, you cannot shoot at the same time. So the one that landed here had wheels, so we had to find a paved area that is a little bit wider and doesn't have houses and trees next to it to allow a smoother landing. And he actually landed here, and we got off the paraglider, and the parachute was found 50 feet from here on a tree because he was dragged to it. He landed perfectly. The guy living here actually videoed that. He saw them landing, and the guy lands. He gets off that. We actually found the device. There was actually still a GPS was still on with the coordinates for the landing. Okay, they came with GPS. The GPS was mounted there. Coordinates for the landing position. The two others who carried the backpacks parachute needed a sandy area, so they landed in sandy patches, the north and the south. They met in here and started running. Now, when we're talking about those terrorists, again, we're talking about terrorists who are, as I said, not your average, what you have in mind when you think about terrorists. Those are highly trained commando terrorists. They are part of what's known as the Nukhba unit of Hamas. Think about it for a second. They knew how to, first of all, fly that. When they landed, they carried on them AK-47, handgun, C4 explosives, Lao is an American anti-tank shoulder missile, disposable one. Very rare to be found by the hands of Hamas. Most of them use the RPG, the Russian version of that, which is it's a multiple use launcher. The reason they had the Lao missile because they are lighter weight, and they had to be minimum. So think about a soldier that knows how to activate paragliders, 3-4 types of weapons, explosives, hand grenades. And when we analyze later on how they worked, how they moved, they never walked on the road, they moved between the houses. Unfortunately we have too many videos of how they fight. When you can be mistaken for a moment, you're seeing a Navy SEAL by the way they activate the weapons, by the way they find shelter, by the way they move, by the way they shoot. When we found battle sites, when they fought with, for example, Oren, my neighbor here, you see the bullets behind him on the trunk of a tree. There's a very accurate shooting. Each bullet had an address, and not only that, when they were engaged in battle and they were able to take down one of ours who carried an M16, they took their M16s, and they knew also how to activate an M16. So you're talking about very, 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 very well-trained terrorists who most likely trained elsewhere, and that was not their first real fire experience. They've experienced maybe in Lebanon, maybe in Syria, maybe in as far as the Russia-Ukraine war, we don't even know. But the fact is, it's landed here, and they did lots of horrors.